I think I got it. Right? It's this button over here, I think. Right? And then that does the thing. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent
It is
friend.
so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 16th, 2024. We're going to write a little bit of code today. Hey, sure, go ahead, take a look.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
It's the Overwatch app. So good to see you. How you doing there, friends? It's yeah, the bot got it. It knew what it was doing. And I'm a little tired. I'm a little worn out. I'm not feeling 100% today. It's snowing here in the Philadelphia region, but I wanted to write some code. I don't have a lot of time today since yesterday was a holiday here in the States. I had a bunch of meetings and things that have been moved into today, so I do need to end a little bit early. Stuff to get done, stuff to move forward, but I wanted to make sure we connected, we wrote some code together, and try to move the ball forward with this Blazor update. It has been taking way too long to do this migration, and over the holiday break, gosh, I wish I would have gotten more done with this, but it just hasn't happened. So we're diving back in. We're migrating from Razor Pages to Blazor, and we're finding things where a huge portion of this application, thousands of lines of code were written in JavaScript, and doing the migration to Blazor is taking a little bit of time, but we're finding that the benefit of moving to Blazor has been very good for us. So I'm happy about that, but at the same time, a little frustrated that it's taking as long as it has. How are you doing out there, chat room? Let me bring on the chat room. We're broadcasting live to YouTube and Twitch. Hello to there's a handful of folks here. Let me see, Dr. Cox. Good to see you, Null Sheffo. How you doing there? Is it Mufole? Hello. Good evening to you, Smirking Squiggly. How's it going? Tick tick boom. Hello to you. UNESCO, yeah, the bot's right. We got the Overwatch hat on today. Thank you for the Prime subscription, 24 months with us.
JanusQ7 just resubscribed for 24 months.
Thank you so much for that. See, I still need to spend time researching and getting a new charity lined up here. Thank you so much. I'll make a donation to a charity. Speedy, good to see you. So, I dove in and I played a little bit of Overwatch over the weekend. I haven't played that game literally in years, and I'm realizing just how bad I am at the game. When you're so bad, how bad are you? When you are so bad that when you log in to play Overwatch, you're level 1, and they don't have anybody join you in the game for 5 minutes. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. How you doing there, old school coder? Good to see you. Alu the Crow, welcome. Like, even just playing against AI and it's not loading folks into the game with you. Like, come on. I'm just starting back out here. Hello? No, nothing. Like, okay. How you doing there, Chaotic Monkey? Chuck Beasley, good morning, good morning. It is snowy and cold here. Not too much snow. We only got about 2 inches, 2.5 inches of snow. Call it 5 centimeters for those of you not on the Imperial system there. How's it going? Johnny B. Cat is here from YouTube. Good morning. Hello, hello. Oakleus, matchmaking with the AI can be slow. Oh yeah. I was on quick play. I was on quick play. I did quick play with the AI. Nothing. Like, that's how bad I am, is they can't find anybody else to play with me. And when I finally did get into a game where the game ended, I got kicked off the team and another 10 minutes to try and find somebody. The experience was awful. Like, literally. And because Overwatch is a multiplayer first game, there's no chance of getting better either. There is zero chance of improving. It's like, okay, guess what we're uninstalling. at least with the battle royale games, like, okay, you're terrible, that's fine. You're the fresh meat we're gonna feed into the next group of 100 people in the lobby. Like, sure, fine, doesn't matter. because in a group of 100 people in the lobby, it kind of sorts out. But in a 5 versus 5 team match, no. They need to find other folks of a similar skill level. And there aren't any because you're just that bad. Like, there is no practice. There is no, hey, why don't you try it here and let's learn some skills? No, nothing. God. So, yeah, that was a thing. Like, now we know. So, I've finally got Windows Update running on the ARM device here, and it's not actually updating to the latest version of Windows. It's patching with their security patches. It's installing. It's not putting down updates. Actual, like, hey, we're updating you to Windows 22 version. No, I'm still on a Windows 2021 version, and I guess that's, yeah, 21H2. We're still stuck on the ARM device. Like, I guess that's the experience that folks have. I don't know. So I'm gonna jump over there, dive in, and we're gonna get back into writing some Blazor code. Let me find some music to listen to here. Let's start here. This is called Protocol. There we go. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for making this music that we're listening to today. So, I also did, let me see. Yeah, that's not bad. I also, I occasionally, I participate in a subscription service that hire, is it? Yeah, that recruits folks to do voiceover work, and I've been receiving emails from them. Hey, look, there's opportunities. Here's projects you can apply to for months. And I jumped in and I submitted one the other day, and it looks like the radio station accepted it. Let me just take a quick peek. Take a quick peek at my account and see if it was accepted. Yeah, I've got people inviting me into Slack accounts. I don't use Slack. I'm not a fan of Slack. Like, I don't know. What do you think out there, friends? It's I just feel like Slack is even more disorganized and harder to follow than Teams or emails or social media posts. So yeah, now waiting for feedback on the voiceovers that I submitted. So, there is a ton of folks that are trying to do voice acting. A ton of folks. What's that say there? You think I'll do? Oh, it's hiding down the bottom. And it's not showing up over there either. There we go. You'll think I'll do a great job in voiceover. I agree, Johnny. I've certainly got a voice for it. I can lean into the various tone that folks look for in it. So we'll see. We'll see. Like, to throw some things out there every now and again and get picked up is nice, but it's not a lot of effort for me to get into and do. So we'll see what happens. So I don't get picked up by Microsoft things to do voiceovers or to do recordings anymore. So that's fine. I've got plenty of other content to build, write, deliver. We delivered 2 new episodes Friday, and I released the other one yesterday of C# in the cards. We covered all kinds of things about strings, including talking about quoted literals, verbatim literals, and raw string literals. Oh my gosh. I completely forgot about how frustrating verbatim literals are. Putting the @ sign in front of a string and having to work with it was like, I look at that now and I think, why do I do this instead of just working with a raw string literal directly? Like, just skip right to it. There's no reason to use verbatim literals in my mind anymore, because raw string literals do all of that and make it a heck of a lot easier to read. Like, that's a big deal for me, is making my code easier to read. The machine's going to be able to figure out how to parse it and present it, but if I can read it and I can give it that quick check on my own because it looks right, instead of having all kinds of escape characters all over it, well, then I feel good about that. So, yeah, I prefer raw string literals over verbatim literals. Even quoted literals, at times I'm like, why? I mean, the only time that I really use a quoted literal is if it's just simple alphanumeric. Once I need to get beyond alphanumeric, raw string literal. Just don't even think about it. Don't even tinker with it. Just jump right into triple quote and whatever that text needs to be. That's just me. I don't know. What do you? It's. I'm trying to optimize the way that I write C# code, so I'm taking advantage of modern features. Not so much forgetting the older stuff, but the older stuff that the new feature supersedes, identifying and knowing when to put that behind us. So let me head over to the ARM machine here. This is JARMuary. We're programming on an ARM-based device all month long. And I'm here with TagZap. There it is. Get that started. And I'm going to start another tab over here. Jump into Windows Subsystem for Linux. I turned on caps lock there. Hey, Johan, good to see you. Hello, hello. Because we ran Docker in Windows Subsystem for Linux, and that's where my database is sitting. So let's get that dialed up, started up, so we can write some code and have it interact with the database directly. So, cool. Okay. And it should show me, there it is. And it says it's running. Yep, there it is. So, cool. I'll jump back over here. I'm going to split my display here. Drop into the TagZap folder, source, and no, stay right here. I'm going to leave the lower one for working with Git. But I'm going to drop into source, TagZap, Blazor, so we can .NET watch from here. I completely forgot where we left off. Normally, when we're working on projects on stream, I kind of cheat a little bit, and in the evenings and weekends, I'll wrench on some of the code and push some parts that aren't as some parts that might be a little more tedious. I'll move them forward and get them done behind the scenes. No, didn't have time for that this weekend. I got wrapped up in a bunch of things. With the weather it came through, we had a bunch of stuff to prep for bad weather coming through. How are you doing out there, chat room? How's the weather in your part of the world? Mid-January here, and we've got snow in the States. What are you seeing out there? Let me know. That's right. We rewrote the moderation hub from SignalR to an integrated service, to a singleton, a hosted, not even a hosted service, but a singleton sitting out there that would relay messages between the various components of the application. And quite frankly, loading editor package? Yeah, sure, do that. Quite frankly, this became a heck of a lot easier to manage because we're just passing events around. We're raising events when messages arrive so that we can show them on screen, right? And that kind of feels easier to work with. So I had put what the heck? What? Okay, yeah, I did a .NET Watch behind the scenes. So there it is. It's running. If I go and log in, you don't remember me, do you? And I believe I use the trusty password 1. Yep, there we go. So the moderation screen, it loads, but the current moderators isn't populating. We need to get that wired up. And I think we could try and load in at least our first provider, Mastodon. Get that started back up, and because it should be migrated over, I should be able to easily migrate it into this project. Just copy paste, really, and start seeing some data popping up here. Warm Peas, hello to you. Jeremy says still no snow, but cold compared to normal temperatures. It's in the 20s Fahrenheit here. So what's that? -2, -3 Celsius. So it's cold. It's even colder in Texas today. Some snow predicted for Smirking Squiggly in the local area. It's fine. All right. Let me take a look at that current moderators, getting that loaded. Part of me thinks I should do a little bit of refactoring here from hubs into services over here. Yeah, I should. Let's just move that over. Yeah, I know it will. Yeah, just the namespace, that's fine. Thank you. Please, go ahead. Okay. Part of me thinks I should also move these event arguments. But it's only, I'm at 100 lines in the file, so it's not too bad. Let me take a look at let's do this. Well, this new moderator object is still being referenced. So I'll leave that. The moderation client can go away. And I'm going to comment out the rest of that. Because I don't need it. Parades are going to be miserable. 5 Fahrenheit feels like -16 in Denver. Oh, Reg. Woo! That's cold. 11 Fahrenheit feels like in New Orleans. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Mardi Gras season. Mm-hmm. That's going to be cold. Folks aren't going to be having as much fun in that. Okay, so the moderation page gets a reference to that moderation service. There it is. So when we first start up, look at all this. Listen, okay, this changes now because it's no longer Signal R. So uninitialized, get the blocked user count, and it is showing that. Listen for moderation content. So, okay, we're not adding the current user to the list of moderators. Did you have to do anything with anti-forgery tokens at this point? No. Not yet. And I'm not doing anything to pass I'm not doing anything yet that would be... Well, no, the admin pages have anti-forgery tokens, but it's Blazor, so I'm not so much validating it directly. Had a bit of snow last night in the Netherlands. Took a nice walk outside. Now that's a fun, right? It feels it's fun walking just as the snow starts. I was out walking the dogs last night as the flurries were coming down, and it was nice. It looks amazing, right? But I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm getting old. I'm like, that's fine. Get out of here. So I want to get back into doing my normal stuff, my normal regular day-to-day stuff. How you doing there, Danny Camps? Hello. UNESCO shoveled some snow and took down one tree branch that was broken. So I did have a giant limb from one of the trees in the front yard fall yesterday, and I need to get out there at some point with the chainsaw and get that cut up and disposed of. I'm feeling I'm at that point in the project where I'm feeling overwhelmed is the wrong word. Where I'm feeling there's a lot more to get done and it's not getting done as fast as I think it should be. So no, I am doing moderation service add moderator here to add the user to add the current user to the moderation service, which close out some of this other stuff that we don't need right now. I think we're okay with that. So current user moderating, try add, and then on new moderator, invoke. We're not listening to that yet, are we? No. So down here on listen for moderation content, we can say moderation service. There we go. We're not, it's going to be on new moderator. Yeah, there we go. That, I don't actually, it's 2 arguments, right? It's the sender and then the args. And then this is going to be args. Yeah. Yeah, it's a moderator args, but I'm my list of moderators here. Do I really want to put it back into a new moderator object? Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Thank you. Yeah, I know, that's... You're not going to tell me what that is. That's wonderful. Where the hell did I end up? There. Is anybody using Sonar Cloud? No. No, I am not. Email, avatar, display name. All right, so... It was right there. That's not the right order. And then state has changed. Yes, that should... yeah, avatar image source. What is it? No. No. Really? You're not going to show me what's on that? Just avatar. Oh, now you're going to show it to me. Yeah, it's a URI. Why doesn't it like that? I just did. So, with that in play... Yes, rebuild. Let's see what we get there. You need to spend some more time understanding how anti-forgery stuff works. So anti-forgery just generates a what they call a nonce, right? A one-time use token that gets sent into the browser as typically a hidden form field that it's expecting to have sent back and have the exact same content. What did I break here? Moderation hub does not exist. 121 on program. Yep, because I just removed that. Yeah, because that doesn't exist. So this should restart. There it goes. And no, didn't pop up. Why you not pop up? Let's see what's happening there. New moderator received. Ew, look at that. Use info casing to switch execution. What? Wow. That's a new one on me. Go ahead. And that smelled like an issue with hot reload. There, it said new moderator received. I saw it, but nothing appearing. That doesn't make sense to me. Right? Right there, new moderator received. So why didn't it load? And this feels like a pre-render issue. Right, so when we're in interactive server, it's pre-rendering a bit of the content. Yeah, look at this. I'm not on the current thread. And this is just an event handler. So when I'm receiving that information, right, this is like a key piece here to be able to state has changed this and push new content. Right? So do I need to ace it and then await this? Yeah, test got ruined. No. What's it saying about that? Use info casing. I haven't run into this before. Right, and then now it appears. Now it doesn't. Huh. I'm also noticing that my address bar at the top is not appearing. My menu bar. Take a quick. Should be on just normal layout. Yeah, now you see it, now you don't. If I take that out, but I gotta fix the width now and some of the other things here. But let me run with that for now, and we'll need to fix the CSS on this. the so that's on new moderator. On depart moderator, we should remove from the list. Right? On. Thank you. Yeah. That's not bad. I don't really have a way to test it. It's rebuilding. That's why.
Now we know.
Yep.
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, see, why does that disappear? Is it running too fast? Is it... Yeah. Is it disposing? That's interesting. Is it disposing? During dispose here, line 289. Object reference not set to an instance. You moved over by the window? It's a little bit colder over there, hat stand. Overwatch is the new Pong. I was good at Pong. So if moderation service doesn't exist, or is it the moderation service or is it the user? Right, so I click into there. Yee. Click out. That didn't actually dispose. Now I've got 4 of those. Let me see that again. Something weird. I'm only going to go for about another hour today because I have a bit of work that I need in documentation that I need to get built and done here. I just saw it. New moderator received, moderator departed. So it disposed. So it does think. Disposing moderation razor. Click away, and it should. Object reference. Not telling me a line number. Restart that again. You don't mind the cold? Don't forget you're also holding the scarf. I have several scarves, including an Overwatch scarf. I really like the lore and stuff around the game, but I'm terrible at it. I stink. All right, so click into moderation now, and new moderator received, and it disposes it. Oh, you got a GitHub scarf. Oh, that's very cool. Is this a thing with interactive server? Right? Blazor interactive server. See, I thought the server was kept open. I do have hats that I still need to send out. Oh gosh, and stickers. But nobody makes those hats. I have them made. Component initialization. So this is telling me that the life cycle, what I'm experiencing is telling me, not the documentation. Is that even though it's interactive server, it's not keeping it open. It's not keeping the page alive. If a component implements iDisposable, iAsync, disposable, or both, the framework calls the unmanaged resource disposal when the component is removed from the user interface. Disposal can occur at any time, including during initialization. Null check is performed because this object is creating during a lifecycle method. Okay, I get that. No, I don't, no. Anonymous functions, methods, and expressions. Here we go. Long-running background work. Yes. On disposal, at any point cancellation is desired, call cancellation token source cancel to cancel the background work. So what are they doing? This is a new one on me. Await task delay. Only UI updates are interrupted. Because I'm thinking if we're disconnected, right, it's going to reestablish the state and should re-update things, right? If we're disconnected and we get reconnected, right? In my mind, I should have a Blazor on reconnected event handler that I can inspect, check the state of things, resynchronize, and move forward. Thinking out loud, I don't believe there's any such event. So there's, okay. and keep alive on the client. So, right, the dispose method is yeah, that's all JavaScript. More JavaScript reconnecting. Adding a circuit handler to allow you to detect connection. But where would I hear that? To capture users for custom services. Something's... Okay. It is removing the moderator properly on dispose. Our problem is dispose is being called while we're still live on the site, on the page. So using dispose as a way to clean up our content is not reliable. Clean up our user interface. Ugh. Hey there.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the
It's
battle.
not the Pong hat. No.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
94% certainty. Yeah, that's right. This now has me thinking that this is terribly unreliable. Because when I navigate away from the moderation, right, I refresh the page, and I'm getting a lot of new moderator received and then departed, but it doesn't know who the user is to depart them. Is there a navigation manager thing that I should be hooking up to instead? That's ASP.NET Core 8. Hang on. I don't think I want this page pre-rendering. I don't want the moderation page pre-rendering. Yeah, I know there's a, yeah, I thought there was a location changed event in Navigation Manager, so we know when they navigate somewhere else. I want to turn off pre-rendering. Yeah, there we go. Right, and Carl and I have talked about this a little bit and some of the challenges with the pre-rendering capabilities. Right, server, get it right. Interactive server render mode. Interactive server, come on. Thank you. And no help there. Pre-render true. I want pre-render false. Spelled right. Rebuild that. My thinking is it's pre-rendering this page, that is something that is very highly interactive on the server. Don't do that. Because it's doing that disconnect. Because it finishes the pre-render and then the interactive piece goes to reconnect, and now what? Yeah, here we are broken. It didn't even give me the new moderation user. At 290, object reference doesn't exist. And I bet it's the user. Right? Yeah. User doesn't exist. Hey, C# Titan, good to see you. Happy New Year to you. So let's go back up here. Where's the content? So I clicked back, and it's already disposing before it rendered anything on the screen. What the heck is that? That feels completely wrong. And now we're fighting the framework again. Because that's not how this used to behave. And if I flip that to pre-render true, yeah, hot reload my foot. Nothing. And it's breaking because it says there's no user. User should always be there. Oops. Okay. Yeah, it's disposing, but it doesn't have a user. Why doesn't it have a user? Like, clearly I'm logged in. Are we not? Right? Like, Trying to figure out where the disconnect is. There, it found it. Look at all that. But it's doing that immediate dispose and remove them. Is the event wired up that many times? I'm not going to be on too long, maybe another 45 minutes. It feels like the event is what... Oh, I'm not disconnecting the events. Right. During the dispose, I've also got a... So let's say moderation service is not... No. What was it on? And it's an anonymous method up there. How do I disconnect the anonymous method? Hey, Napalm. Hello. C#, disconnect event with anonymous method. Yeah. What's a good way to remove that? Thanks. Sure. You cannot easily unsubscribe. I know. How? They did it with a local function. All right, I guess we got to push it out into an actual method. Fine. Oh, it's not going to refactor? Jeez. On new moderator. Async on new moderator. Ta-da. Make it an async task. Object sender. Right, and this is moderator event moderator args. That's it. Right, so then I can say minus equals on new moderator, like that, yeah. And I'm going to do the same thing, oh dear lord, with this, on depart. Why don't you like that? It's the wrong return type. What should it be? Async void? I'm guessing? Yeah. Hey, Cheermonger. They are delegates. Anonymous delegates. There we go. So now that works. Probably because of nullability. Wah. Wah. Event handler moderator args. No, it's the same. That should work. On remove moderator. On depart, not remove. Add another one here. Async void. On depart moderator. Nope, not formatting either. Something broke in the Blazor editor, in the Razor editor, and it's really killing me here. The object is nullable. Is it? Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Appreciate it. You never fully understood them? So they're just pointers to methods, right? So here's the names of them. Here's the actual implementations of them. So when we have the event here, these events defined, instead of passing execute this method and return a value in, we're just passing the name of the method so that it really is a pointer to that other method. And that's what a delegate is. It's just a pointer. So, okay. Yeah, you can use actions with those. I prefer using the event handlers with event args. It's a little bit clearer to me, but so right, I need to add the moderation service. Yeah, hey, right? Yep. So that should come on. That should disconnect them so that we don't have unable to locate user. Oh, great. New moderator received, unable to locate user. This is... So I'm trying to run a very stateful page with Blazor. And because it disposes the page immediately, and navigating away doesn't disposing moderate. Hang on. Back over here. All right, so we're at unable to locate a user. Navigate away, and it's disposing it at that point. So it does properly dispose it. I don't know when the next preview is supposed to be released. Apollo Sings, welcome. Hello. But there's clearly trying to maintain this very stateful page, interactive server. It is, I believe. Create a variable to store the event handler. I've got a function. That would be the same thing as declaring a function and passing that around. Right, declaring a task, declaring an event handler with the anonymous. No, this is not SQL. No, this is C#. But it's... There's still an extra event handler hanging around out there. Let me clear it out by restarting. And Blazor is supposed to be smart and disconnect, right? But look, it started, connected me, and then it went and disposed. And now it's reinitializing because, hey, you're reconnected, and it doesn't have my user information. And I'm even looking at it down here when it's trying to... really don't like that. And turning off the pre-rendering is worse. So if I navigate away, navigate back, it doesn't find me and get me connected at all. Versus when this was my services and things are disappearing also. It's not just no. What user accessor are you talking about? No. Help me out that Binber. Like, I've already got the user because I'm inside of you're suggesting grabbing it on after render async. Okay, let's move it down there then. Is it going to give me? Let's just move all that down here. First render. All right. Still building. Nope. Nope. And if I turn back pre-render, no. It's not even attempting to assign the user. No, if run that again. The whole HTTP contest and authentication state is a little confusing. Oh, it's very confusing, yes. No. So I'm down in on after render, and it's telling me it can't find the user. Working with user, let's put. Nope. Rebuild it. Yes, I do allow user contributions. Yes, but right now we're in we're in a somewhat broken migration state. Yeah. So, Binber, I hear what you're saying about a user accessor class. You're basically creating something stateful for that user. Like, that's not a thing in the docs. And after the page render, it's gone.
Ergonrod just
Hey, Ergonrod.
resubscribed for 28 months.
Inject the authentication's state provider. And not the... All right, so let's try that. Authentication state provider. Sure. So instead of getting it there, if I do get authentication state async, it gives me and there's user. Oh, butterfingers. Let's make this a little bit easier to read. So if we get it that way, then we can say auth state dot user, and that gives me a claims principal. The username is going to be identity name. Sure. Restart that. Can I link a doc or something? Let's see what we got. The reader is closed. That's telling me that Docker stopped. No, it's still there. That the database connection closed. That feels terribly unreliable. What? I didn't modify that. Holy crow. While accessing security context, different threads concurrently trying to work on the same DB context. Yeah, it got the user. So we got that far. You're right. But then it got to here, and it's using an entity framework context underneath the user manager, and this is it is not thread safe. That's a problem. Like, I should be able to call that directly any day of the weekend, twice on Tuesday. Right, if we go back to that code and we walk up it. Moderation 185, which is right there. And it's telling me that that's not thread safe. That's a problem. Second operation was generated on this context instance before a previous operation completed. Like, that tells me I should put a repository in front of this so that I can control the threading on it. If I can't trust that user manager, right, and the user manager object for folks that are interested here is the user manager that identity provides us. That's not safe working with entity framework. That's a problem. Like, I don't want to rewrite that. I don't want to manage that code. There is... It's the pause button. I don't care about that. Let's do this. All of this connection on stuff. Yes. Oops. That's better. So what do we do? Do I have any workshops planned? No, not yet. I did have some folks suggest I should run some. So it identifies my username. I mean, I could use the security context directly and try and fetch it instead of going through user manager, right? And I really don't like that. Right, so if I say context, it's I think it's ASP users. users. Let's do a first or default, right? I think it's ID. Well, let's do username. And if I do that as first, it was first or default async. Let's also throw in as, no, right? Oh, come on. No, not where. No, I typed using. Microsoft Entity Framework Core. Which should give me no. What's it? It's is it for read only, as read only? I can't remember. That should work though. Right, and that's going to return a tags app user now. Why doesn't it like that? Yeah, I know it's possibly null. Rebuilding. Like, that's what it's doing behind the scenes underneath that user manager. Yeah, hit the same problem. Second operation started on the same context. So... Hey, Jens!
Jens Woes just resubscribed for 26 months. Hey Fritz and chat. I hope you are all having a great day.
Ah, we are. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's not a render mode issue. It's I'm using a database context here, and turn off the pre-render, I guess, because it pre-renders and then delivers again, maybe. I think that's it. No. How you doing there, Darfall? Hello. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. Well, there it is again. So even with the pre-render turned on, the DB context is not thread safe going through there. Where'd it go? I was right there. So if we just turn this into new tags app user, right, email equals jeff@jeffreyfritz.com, display name equals stub user. Yeah, thank you. Username equals, yeah. Okay. Now, what's with that? Oh, right. Yeah. Whole lot of null references that should be cleaned up. You're using DB Context Factory everywhere, but that's just it. I was using User Manager. So I'm outside of it. That works. This is telling me that Entity Framework is perilous at best to use with Blazor. Unless there's something we're completely missing, because we can't use DB context with the security objects on our pages. Why does it work in the default security pages that get delivered? Which, dear God, like, the amount of content here is ridiculous. That works. But this is a static site rendered. Right? This is static server rendered page. So if I change the render mode to interactive server, right? Does it break that page? Yes. Yes, it does. I'll rebuild it. So, yeah, there it is. Unhandled exception in circuit. Status message uninitialized. Status, insert new frame, compute diff. This is something completely different. Status message uninitialized. Where is that? There. Yeah, breaking all of it. How you doing there, Mythin? This is bad news. Like, we had this problem on this page when we first... Yeah. What else do we have here that we can... Let's take it off of this one. There's that status message again on this email page. But it has user manager here. There's identity user accessor. Is that what you were talking about? That identity user accessor doesn't await on user manager get user async. And this is something that I had to update. But this object, 27 references. It's injected all over the place. And it's added scoped. Oh, you dog. Is this how they're getting around it? Is that how they're getting around it? So instead of using that on line 12 or the authentication state provider, identity to provide a cached interaction with that. Hey, Space Shot!
Space Shot just resubscribed for 54 months.
And it didn't generate the using statement. Thank you so much. What's the... Tags at Blazor Components. Thank you so much, and I'll make a donation to a charity. Appreciate it. Okay, so that gets me there. Right, so I don't have this. I do have the context, right? Because where this is called, it's just user accessor. And where does it get? It's getting the cascading HTTP context. I already have that, I think. Right? Yeah. So... right, user accessor, get required user async, put no wait in front of that. Rebuild it. 54 months. Thank you so much for all that support at Tier 2. Great to see you, Chris. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Day after the holiday. Right, and that user accessor object is just a cache repository pattern. And that looks like it's working. Well, we didn't actually go to the page. Nope, doesn't work. Moderation 177. Identity user accessor line 15. Don't like this. And it's trying to redirect. And it's saying the identity redirect manager doesn't exist. What the heck is that? Line 45 in that thing. Oh, man. Yeah. This is ugly. Yeah, this is Blazor 8. Let's run it with the debugger. Template hands you a bunch of code, but not just that. There's a bunch of stuff in here that behavior has changed significantly. And we need to document it, we need to communicate it, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who's run into this. Right? Come on. There's the web server on the page. Okay. I'm able to click into my page. If I go over to moderation, now that, and it thinks it has providers attached too. That looks like it's working. Not only that, but it formatted all of our CSS properly. Why is this so much different from how I was running it at the command line? Let me do that again. Because that worked properly in Visual Studio. Okay. Like, I'm really worried about this cached repository pattern. No, and the CSS is different. I'm also on a different page. I'm on 5125. HTTPS shouldn't be this big of a difference. Shouldn't be this big of a difference. Because I didn't do anything to tinker with that. And I'm just about out of time here. No. Why isn't it picking up on HTTPS? Dear Lord. The amount of contents in here is significant. There it is, 7106. Did it start listening on 7106? No. Should be one dash. I thought 7007 was the port. So yeah, I typed the wrong port number. But it turns out it wasn't even listening on it because I ran the wrong launch profile. There it is. It's on the right port. Now, why is that behaving so significantly differently at the command line versus in Visual Studio? It's the same profile. It's on the same SSL. That page works. Well, maybe it does. Why isn't... I'm also in Edge. That should drop down. Yeah. Like, that appears to work. No, that... No. Visual Studio is running... They're running the HTTPS profile. But the the debugger attaching is not working. This is frustrating as all hell. Because I can't move forward on simple features because I feel the framework pushing back on me as I try and make database calls. And it's moderation line 177. So this is interactive server, pre-render turned off. And this is get the required user. Jumps into user accessor and it says, I don't know who that user is. Do a redirect. And this errors out, doesn't know what the thing is that it's looking for. If I turn pre-render back on, it says hot reload succeeded. No. No. Identity user successor. And it's not available. That's just it. I did do a new project and move files. Trying to access and work with the user object on a new page isn't working. Right, and if I take that user right, take that out. Yeah. No error. It's looking for a CSS that doesn't exist. So, what's... in the admin page, it accesses and works with that in onInitialized. Let's move it back there. No. No. No, I'm on tags app. Are you kidding? I was looking at the other page. Okay. Okay. I stand corrected. Shut that down because it's about to try and run on the same port. No. And this is, it's running on the wrong port. Yeah. You're right. I was debugging the wrong website. Have a good one, Sharer. I don't. Stop it. It asks me that every time I launch Edge. Like, you're giving me... and now I can't access. Launch. Okay. Log in. Okay, look. Stop it. Over here. Break. Okay. Invalid user, unable to load user. And it's got null for the context. And when we walk up the stack, get required user, context is null. So it's trying to redirect with status when it's passing null in there. That seems stupid. Right? Like, that's never going to work because it's null. And it can't do that. Am I right here, chat? That's never going to work. That can't be what the default content is in the project. It just can't be. Blazor web app. Eight. Sure, that's fine. I want individual accounts. Go. The HTTP context is never there. Follow me for a second here. This code feels like it's got a terrible mistake in it. So there's this identity user accessor that says get the user asynchronously. Get required user. If the user is null. Wait a sec. Then redirect with status. And it passes information about the current user. If HTTP context is null, then this errors out. Let's open another Visual Studio. Something feels really wrong here. And it's either I changed something, which is where I'm leaning to. Right? Get required user async. Yeah. Stop it. Go. Stop it! Go away. And for some reason, context is null. I added this. I added all of this because if for some reason it errors out here. Because we were running into scenarios where it was passing a context that doesn't exist. Right? So if I register, and I'll register like this. Oh, come on. Really? What the heck? What the? I don't get it. First thing that I'm thinking is I'm on an ARM device that doesn't have SQL Server installed, and it's trying to write to SQL Server instead of to a SQLite database locally. And it's trying to get into SQL Server. First problem. Yeah. In my mind, it should never, in the default templates, use SQL Server. In the default templates. It should use SQLite. I need to bring in the SQLite. Yes, God. Yes. Right, and what's the SQLite connection string? What's the reason for saying it should use SQLite? Because you're making an assumption that SQL Server is installed. And if you didn't install Visual Studio, SQL Server is not installed. And many people did not install SQL Server. It's like data source, something like that, right? SQLite connection string C#. Here's what you generated for me. Oh, good, thanks. Just tell me what it is. I don't need you typing it out for me. data source. There we go. Okay, register, right? Okay. Doesn't like my connection string. I thought we could use data source. Right? What the heck is... Yeah, data source. Is it because it's not capitalized? Don't give me that nonsense. Thanks for the ad. Thanks. How did I get back here? Should be equals, not colon. Restart. It should generate the database file itself. Try this one more time. Right, and now .NET. Sure, go ahead, apply the migrations. No, didn't think so. Doesn't have .NET EF installed. Nice. Install .NET EF. Should have been installed by first. And it should have generated and run the migrations itself. Yeah, the tools. Thank you. I must install or update .NET to run this application. Are you freaking kidding me? ARM64. Wait, did I get the... I got the runtime. I want the SDK. Open that. I should upgrade to the new version. I should. And I know there's a win-get way to do it. But without knowing all the commands off the top of my head, this is just easier. What a pain. It's not Microsoft.NET SDK.8. I'm like 90% positive that's not it. Oh, and Oh, we do have winget now on this one. Winget, search. No. Microsoft.net.sdk is not it. Oh, DOTNET. Okay, maybe you're right. .NET SDK.8. I just got it installed anyway. So back over to here. Now try that. First time running. Come on. What are you doing? No. Okay. So what's the issue? Like, all I did was .NET New. I changed it to SQLite. Process is locked. Because it was still running. Nope. Because the migration that's sitting there is for SQL Server. It should be migrations. Forgot the EF. Come on. Now, this is running on the ARM machine, so it is running a little bit slow. Create identity. Right, and this is because the migrations are different between the different providers, which kind of defeats the whole point of having a migration syntax. I have no idea what the heart icon means. It was just there. So now if I do .NET EF database update, it should create the SQLite file. Yeah. So that's mine. Right, so what we were running into is this multiple EF request threading issue, and that's why I added in all that code to do null checks for context and whatnot, and it bombs out on me. It crashes. Right, so register. Now that I have a database, I should be able to register appropriately here. And that should save. Good. Confirm my account. Well, thank you. I'd like to log in now. Okay. And clicking through these previously was throwing errors for me in my implementation. But that's sure working. Which means I want to go back and revert a bunch of that stuff because it's working just fine here. And if I turn that to interactive server, right? Come here. Put this on. I keep it over there on that side. Pages. Where'd it go? Right, so hot reload that in. Okay. Now that appears to be working just fine. So there's something different about the code that we were writing for Tags app. I gotta run. I'm late now. I'm gonna have to back up and try and figure that out. There's clearly something with how the app starts, loads, and is handing off these objects that is different and not proper in Tags app, and I'm gonna have to go back and unwind that a bit. I'm not going to save my changes here today because I didn't do anything to improve the application. We're kind of in a stuck mode here. Let me head back over here. And I see a couple questions there in chat I want to make sure I get to before I have to take off here. Hey, Chris Jones. I've got to cut out a little bit early here because of the holiday. I've got some meetings that have moved around that I got to catch up on. First question here from Emporium Guy. How do I deal with front end? What do you mean by front end web development? I prefer Blazor because I can do HTML work and wire it up with C# really easily. And with the new render models, it feels very, very fast, interactive, and I don't have to worry about going through and dealing with a bunch of nonsense around various JavaScript models that are coming and going and separate compile models for all these different frameworks. What I like about it then is I can bring in whatever CSS framework I want and use it very easily, or I can go get a collection of Blazor components that some folks in the community have written, vendors have built, that have nice themes that go with it, that make it really easy for us to build Blazor applications. I'm trying to generate and do all that stuff on my own, and there's a certain amount of wire up of the authentication provider and things in here that just aren't connecting properly in Tags app, because I've wandered a bit off the template here, and I've inadvertently broken something. I need to go back and identify that. This question from Lost Booty. How can I handle the user closing his client? Is there any way, should I use a signal or heartbeat and check if the user is still connected? So that's where we were at the beginning of this, and using the dispose method to when you implement disposable in a Blazor application, it should, when you disconnect, trigger the dispose event and properly release resources at that point. And it should do that also with with the Blazor server interaction. So I'm having what we discovered earlier is it's firing that dispose method immediately when the page loads. Now, part of that is because it does the pre-rendering. So pre-rendering runs and then it disposes right at the end. But then when you start interacting with the page, you should get into a new interactive server page, and the dispose shouldn't happen until you navigate away. I need to experiment and learn more about that. It's not entirely clear, but dispose is how you're supposed to do this. And you shouldn't have to set up a heartbeat. But I think that might be where we need to go, and it's not clear to me, and I'm actually writing some Blazor documentation, so I'm gonna have to find that out before next time when we get together on Thursday. Let me go to this comment from Adrian. The only thing I don't like about Blazor is not having direct access to the DOM. Tell me more. What do you mean? Because you're right, you don't have direct access to the DOM, but what are you trying to do with the DOM that you don't like about that? That you, right, there's other ways to interact with and have access to it. So I would suggest that if you do need direct access, there's ways to do that through JavaScript interop. The things that you might, that you are possibly suggesting you need direct access to work with, there are other ways to do that in Blazor. Let me grab that message from YouTube. Is user interactivity page possible in the new Blazor server-side rendering without SignalR or JavaScript? Yes. Yes, it is, Amal. Because what you can do... forms, interactive forms, you can absolutely do, but if there's other interactive things that you want to do, yeah, right, you need to get outside the static server rendered pages. You need to get into interactive server. If you're animating things, if you're responding to events from the server and you want to paint them on the screen, you need either JavaScript to push SignalR events into the screen or WebSocket events, or you need you need to use JavaScript, or you need to dial it up to interactive server. You just hate the CSS. Yeah, I get that too. You've already tried that, but if the user presses the close button on the browser, it doesn't call dispose on your project. It should. Are you on a WebAssembly project or are you on web server? If you're on server side, it should close it. It should clean it up after. Oh, you're in static site render. Yeah, hang on. If you're in static server rendered project, it never knows that you're connected. And it doesn't care because it renders the content statically and throws it to the server. It does the enhanced navigation when you choose to go somewhere else and loads all that stuff in the background and paints it on the screen. You're in a static server rendered website, you don't have any pulse or information about what's going on the client. You don't. Like, the point is very low resources, and you're not sending some of that stateful information back and forth. If you are, then you need, if you are sending that stateful information back and forth, then you do need to step up to interactive server. It's different. So with dispose, I mean both component lifecycle dispose and one disconnected from SignalR hub. Right. If you really want to know if somebody's connected and they're using a static and they're using static server rendering, you need to set up a SignalR hub to take pulse so that you know that they're out there. But I would suggest that you're in the wrong render mode for the type of activity that you're trying to work with. Fuga asks, how about events live update? Does Blazor have something like this, like WebSockets? So SignalR is the implementation of that, and it handles and delivers that content in a graceful failover scenario. So if WebSockets isn't available, it uses other technologies to keep you connected. Long polling, server-sent events, things like that, to ensure that you still have some sort of message that you can send back and forth. SignalR is very robust at managing those types of connections back and forth. That's all the time that I have for today. I do need to run. I'm going to be back not tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'll be back on Thursday. And I'm going to be spending a bit of time writing some Blazor documentation, working on some other samples. I have a workshop that I'm in the middle of updating. I will see you Thursday morning, and hopefully I'll figure out some things with the Blazor team about what's wrong with TagsApp in this Blazor migration state, so that we can get it moving forward here. Something doesn't feel right at all with the way that it's using the database context. All right. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network so I can get our Twitch friends connected to someone else. Friends that are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. There is some other... Oh my gosh, Junie!
Junie_1_F just resubscribed for 35 months. Oops, little late.
Ah, that's okay. Let me... I'm going to get everybody connected here. Let's go over to... we haven't seen Tim in a while. Let's go see Tim Bodette. So, those of you that are watching on YouTube, I've got lots of great content available for you. I've been working on the C# in the Cards video series. Check that out. There's a playlist available. It should be maybe over here just below or somewhere. It's on YouTube. Check it out. Or you can go to the website csharpinthecards.com. It's my beginner series for folks that are getting started with C#, and we're about to get into some interesting topics like how to work with datetime and datetime offset properly in your applications. Those of you that are on Twitch, thank you so much for watching. We're going to go see our friend Tim Bodette, and I will be back on Thursday on both YouTube and Twitch. Take care. I wish you good health and good coding. Whew, there we go.